Hi, Kristi.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. So excited.
I'm excited too. I'm very excited to see you in a couple of weeks as well.
Yes, it's crazy that summer's almost over and now we're on the home stretch to the end of the year. So excited to kind of kick off fall with the future event.
Yeah, me too. So I just want to start off this chat by asking you what I ask everyone at the beginning, for you to tell us a little bit about yourself, about your role, your career trajectory, and how you came to be at Firework.
Well, I just celebrated my 1 year anniversary at FIREWORK. It feels much longer, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just we've done so much in a year that I feel like I've been there longer. But I've basically worked in beauty all my life. Worked for the Estee Lauder companies. I got my MBA at ESSEC in Paris, France, and I stayed over there and worked for the Estee Lauder companies in Paris. And then I've been on kind of a startup mission. So this is my third startup. FIREWORK is a 6-year-old startup. But prior to joining FIREWORK about a year ago, I worked for Perfect Corp, which is the leader in augmented reality and artificial intelligence in the beauty space. So we powered beauty brands to have virtual try-on their e-commerce sites. So I've always kind of been in this like omni-channel space, e-commerce. And I was the first employee at Perfect Corp in the US in 2015. And then we went public in 2022. So I was kind of looking for my next company that I could still work in beauty, but still work in e-commerce. And I joined FIREWORK. And what's great about FIREWORK is I do lead the beauty vertical, but we're vertical agnostic. You'll find us in travel, in home goods, in pet care, and baby care. So very, very excited to talk to you about what we do at FIREWORK.
Yeah, me too. That's such a nice career story. I love that you've been able to marry beauty experience with startup and omni-channel.
When I started, 9 years ago in tech, it was like beauty and tech. People weren't like, wait a minute, how do these two fit together? But
Yeah.
it's been very generous to me, and I've just met so many wonderful people along the way, and excited to still working in a SaaS company, but leading beauty.
Can you tell us a bit more about the company, what your offering is, and where you kind of fit in that digital commerce space and how you're transforming
Sure,
things?
absolutely. If we think back to COVID, actually, right, and we were all kind of stuck in our homes for a year, people's shopping and buying behaviors changed, right? We couldn't go to a store. We started shopping online, right? And so people have constantly been looking for that almost in-store experience, but on an e-commerce store. And that's kind of what FIREWORK does. What we do, we're the largest video commerce company. And people say, video commerce, what is that? Well, think about Instagram and TikTok, right? We've become this generation of nobody likes to read anymore. They just want to watch videos, right? They want to be entertained. But when you go to an e-commerce site, sometimes all you're looking at is static images on a PDP page, and people really don't want to read anymore. They want to be educated, right? So FIREWORK has kind of taken that video infrastructure and we've built it so that companies can actually have short shoppable videos, right? So what you see on Instagram and TikTok, but allowing it on a brand's D2C site. Short shoppable videos is just one component of what we do. We also do the digital showrooms. We don't actually like to call it live streaming because actually we like brands to keep restreaming them, right? Not everybody wants to show up at a particular time for a live show, but they'll watch them as they get re-aired, right? So we do digital showroom. We have a one-to-one component that allows a brand to have a FaceTime on their website while somebody is shopping, right? And help them actually navigate the journey of their e-commerce store. And then finally, at NRF this past year, we launched Ava, which is our digital human. So you can have somebody 24/7. She never needs a day off, right? So she is she can answer any questions on your website. So those are kind of the 4 pillars of FIREWORK, but we're really helping brands increase conversion. If you think about video, it's not going away, right? I don't know if you have children, but like this generation that's growing up that have always had a cell phone, right? They just love video, right? And so it's not going away. So brands that are embracing video, putting the ability to let somebody go down the rabbit hole on your own website and watch every single video for inspiration, maybe finding a new product, and seeing how people use it, being inspired, especially in the beauty space, right? 88% of beauty consumers, according to Forrester research, say they want to watch a video. They want to watch a tutorial about a product before they ever purchase it, right? This allows brands to actually do that. And I see the KPIs. I see the increased conversion. I see the increased engagement. Think about it. If all of a sudden you have videos on a PDP page instead of a static image, people are going to stay there longer. The longer they stay, the more they're going to buy. So the average order value also goes up. I'm seeing, lots of AOVs go up on a lot of our brand sites. So just really excited to make e-commerce like more exciting and more like an in-store experience, as if you were walking through a store and you really wanted to pick up something or look at it or see how it's been used or talk to a real rep in a store. You can do that now with the FIREWORK capabilities. And one other thing I want to mention, Sarah, a lot of people don't know about FIREWORK. Our co-founders, Vincent Yang and Jerry Luck, raised $250 million from venture capital firms. They spent 75% of that money in building a tech team in our headquarters in San Mateo. We don't outsource anything. All of our tech team is based right here in the US. And what we did is we built a back-end global infrastructure. And what that means is when a company like Philosophy goes live or shows a short shoppable video, it's not hitting the Cody servers. It's hitting the FIREWORK servers. So it never slows down the speed of a website. It's ultra low latency, and our pricing structure is based on how many people are coming to your website. So a really small brand like a Tula Skincare isn't paying the same that a Philosophy Beauty is paying, right? Because it's based on monthly average visitors to the site. So we really are the only company that has built that back end and really spent the money and be able to have the bandwidth to support all of these companies, not just in the US, but globally. We have a footprint in 37 countries.
I like that you're accessible to all as well. You know what you just said about the graduated.
Absolutely. At my last company, the fee was the same, whether you were a tiny mom and pop or you were a big enterprise brand. We are built for enterprise. We're ADA compliant. We're GDPR compliant. We're SOC 2 compliant. So we have to be all of those things, right? When we work with the L'Oreals and the Codys and the Williams Sonomas of the world. But that mom and pop or that indie brand or that kind of up and coming brand can work with us in confidence that the price is right for them, but they're also protected by all of those things that we've had to do for the big companies.
I just want to pick up on something you said there about a unified customer experience and bringing physical to digital. So often when we talk about unified customer experience, at least when I hear it from the other side, right? So e-commerce companies moving into physical retail through pop-ups or one concept store or something. You guys do it a different way around, right? You bring the physical through to e-com.
And think about it. Think how expensive it is. Not just to open a physical store, but even a pop-up, right? I'm not going to mention the brand, but I read about a shoe brand recently that their stock price is in the toilet because they tried to grow too fast and they built like 200 stores and now they're like, yikes, what were we doing, right? We should have spent the money on e-commerce, right? And just had a few, key stores in key cities, right? So what we're trying to do is really help those brands realize that you don't really need a physical store, right? If you have all the components of what it would be like to walk into a physical store with somebody, Best Buy is a great example. They're not our client, but Best Buy is a huge company. They built a warehouse that is just a virtual store. So if you want to buy a treadmill and you want to talk to somebody, you ring up on your computer and they're actually in their giant warehouse in Minneapolis showing you the actual treadmill, right? So it's that idea, right? It's the idea of being able to have that face-to-face conversation. And I see also the confidence of like customers that are adding things to their cart when they're able to speak to somebody or even just to watch a video. Maybe you're going to Redken to buy your shampoo, you need to replenish it, but then you start to watch their short shoppable videos as they're one of our clients and you're like, wow, I really like that curly haired lady's, sheen after she used this, shiny product. I need to add this to my cart. Almost like window shopping. Brands really like that UGC content or that micro influencer content. I think a lot of brands get stuck on, oh my gosh, I don't have any content. I don't have a content person, but you're pushing stuff to social media already. On our back end, you can just upload all of your social media content from TikTok, from Instagram. You can search hashtags and find UGC content. Reach out to them. Can we use your video? Can we put it on our website? People love that, right? So it's really, really easy to get content. It's, I think brands get, hung up on, oh my gosh, I need an agency, or I don't have the bandwidth. But the great news about FIREWORK is we work with our clients on a weekly basis. Once we sign them, we don't sign them and leave them. We're constantly working with them, right, to measure their KPIs. We have purchasing pixels. We can drill down to a video, which video caused this person to purchase a product, right? So we start to look at the KPIs on each and every video or each and every digital showroom. What's working, what's not working? Let's change the order. Let's change out this video for a new one. Hey, we found this new video on social media. Can we use this, right? So we're kind of data geeks over here, which is cool, because really it's about sales, right? It's about conversion, and also it's just about a better customer experience. Because you think about it, a lot of brands don't measure lifetime value, but LTV is super important, especially for brands that are trying to get that Gen Z millennial customer at the beginning of their purchasing life, right? You want to keep them throughout their whole lifetime. So the lifetime value of a customer is super important, but they want to be able to have checkout experiences that are fun, engaging, and just make it easy to purchase.
You touched a little bit upon this just now around the content generation side of things, and brands being a little bit scared to put stuff forward. Authenticity, obviously, within that is really key.
Huge.
I mean, I guess you working across such a broad, firstly the beauty category, but then your other categories, you must see some amazing content out there. You must see the brands that are the most authentic. How do you advise your clients to make sure that they're creating authentic content?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's not a blanket answer for every brand, because it kind of has to go along with the DNA of the brand. It has to make sense. But I always find it's a nice mix if you can get a mixture of like branded content, and that could be somebody within the brand speaking. It could be an education person within the brand, and I'm just speaking about beauty now, right? But a beauty educator on the team, or it could be somebody, VP of marketing, somebody just talking about the products because they come from the brand. But then, a lot of the L'Oreal companies use micro influencers, right? So they don't have huge followings, but they know how to make a really good video. And then I think it's a mixture of finding that user generated content, because people do want an authentic voice. I think we're kind of past this huge paid influencer marketing, right? I think people are past that. They're craving authenticity. And that's why when I see something that's truly authentic, I constantly am posting about it on LinkedIn, because I love authenticity. Like the Sarah Blakely from Spanx, who just now launched her shoe company, Sneaks. They're not a client, love for them to be one, but I just love that she's taken a tennis shoe and made it high heel. I'm 5'3". I need as much height as I can get. My husband's 6'4". I ran out and bought a pair, right? So to me, that is not, she's coming from an authentic place of always trying to make something that's comfortable and looks good. And she's a disruptor, right? That's authenticity. People are craving authenticity. And I think that that's super important when you're thinking about content. And our head of sales is going to be speaking at Future on one of the 20-minute sessions about this very topic. How do you find the right content mix? And how will it work for your brand? So I think that's really, really interesting.
Yeah, and it's definitely something, as we said before, that brands struggle with. And so people are going to have good takeaways from that. So you just mentioned there about LTV and bringing in Gen Z, like which is the youngest generation, Gen Z. And I was going to ask you, so you're speaking on a panel called Future Consumer. It's our plenary panel at the show. So what's the future consumer to you? Is it them, or is it, who is it?
I mean, I think it's everyone, but I think brands, you start to see brands are really focusing on them, right? They're the youngest ones. They've never grown up without a phone, right? They know how to use it. They want to check out on mobile. They don't want to use a desktop, right? It's all done mobilely. You've got to be mobile optimized for everything that you do. And I think those are the people that are going to bring you the most LTV, obviously. They have the longest lives ahead of us. But I think you can't forget about the older consumer too, right? I'm in my 50s. I need, I want to be able to check out easy, and I want to maybe watch a video or make sure that something's, or watch a live show and get, ask a question in real time that a doctor or a physician or an aesthetic person can actually answer a question about my skin that I may not know, right? So having that, that personalization to me I think is really important. And I think that's what people are really looking for in brands, right? How are they speaking to me? And can I find the answers that I need?
What trends in live streaming do you think are going to have the biggest impact on the industry?
Well, first of all, we have the most robust features in live streaming of anybody in this business. Multi-hosting capabilities. We can have up to 4 hosts on a show at the same time. We also have AI chat feature. So after the show is over, if somebody's watching the show, they can ask a question and get it answered. So it's almost like it's live all the time. If you go to thefreshmarket.com, which is a kind of a high-end grocery store, it's running on their homepage 24/7. If you ask a question like what wine is best with the salmon, the AI will answer you. So it feels like it's live all the time. That's what's so great.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing. Okay, I'll leave it there and let you be off and have a good day ahead. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
New York. All right. Thank you so much.